Games. We're coming to you from Milford Estates. It's been a while, right? I mean, we did a live last week, but it's been a while since we've actually been together doing a podcast. So I'm excited to be back.
Yeah,
and I'm excited to see what Tris brought for a snack this week because we missed it on Thursday night.
Yeah.
So I think for this week, we have so much to talk about because it's been week one, although we're not going to, since it's Monday, we're recording, we're going to miss the game. We can't really talk about it. The 49ers. That should be a pretty good game. It's Aaron Rodgers. It's your man, Tris.
Yeah, that's right.
Hopefully he makes it past 4 snaps today. Or whatever it was last year, 7 snaps? I don't know. It wasn't a lot.
Yeah. I'm curious to see how he plays tonight. Hey, don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow us on YouTube. We're on Reddit. We're on X, Twitter, and we're on Instagram. So come, like, subscribe, and leave a comment. We haven't had a fan question in a long time. So maybe we need to, look at that, and maybe you guys should leave us a question. We can go back to fan questions. So anyways, Tris. Oh, wait, first off, hold up. Annabelle, how are you feeling?
I'm not worse. If you miss a live, I have COVID. It's my first time with COVID. It feels kind of weird because being in the restaurant industry, I've probably taken hundreds of COVID tests over these years, right? Hundreds upon hundreds, never one positive. So when it was actually positive, I was like, whoa, what? So I immediately did another one, and it was instantly positive within 30 seconds. So I was like, okay. So, I'm taking Paxlovid.
Yeah.
And doing all the homeopathic remedies too. I don't feel horrible. I'm just so tired. And I have the worst taste in my mouth, which I think is from the Paxlovid. I have to have a throat lozenging constantly. I mean, it's awful. It makes food taste awful. I didn't lose my taste. It just tastes like garbage.
Oh, that would make me sad.
It's it's really unpleasant. So I've been drinking a lot of smoothies, and eating fruit popsicles because that helps. Just anything to
get the taste out.
Yep.
Is that a known side effect?
Yeah,
that drug?
of the Paxlovid. I remember even my parents, when one of them was taking it, them telling me about it, and it is definitely a known side effect. I mean, there are definitely side effects of it, but mostly I just wanted to, reduce the symptoms if I could. And I mean, it's not that bad, relatively speaking. I'm just so tired,
Yeah. I think the tiredness was the only thing that ever really happened to me when I had COVID. It was just you're just exhausted all the time. And you don't want to get out of bed. So did you even watch football yesterday?
I did watch football. For the morning games, though, I just had the Red Zone channel on because I didn't want to actually go into my sports bar or living room with all the TVs. Oh my God, you guys, I have to tell you how stupid I am. So the other night, I can't remember what it was, if it was during the Padres game or if it was during the Eagles game. But I got irritated at something and kind of flung my reading glasses. Oh, no. I know what it was. I was editing film for my kids' water polo game on my computer. And so I had gone through 3/4 of this game. So it takes a while. And something happened and it didn't save. So all my work was gone. That's what it was. I flung my reading glasses. They hit one of my TVs. It's way across the room. I didn't even notice it at the time, but the kids showed me yesterday. It cracked the TV. My reading glasses cracked one of the TV screens.
Oh, no.
No, is it a big crack? Or you need to send a picture. Can you send a picture after this? And we can have our producer throw it up so we can see the crack.
I'm pretty embarrassed about that one of my tantrums. And it wasn't hard. It wasn't like I chucked them hard. I was not feeling well. I just kind of I was like,
I can just imagine that. Okay. Our producer, he's going to have to make a little, cartoon thing of this. And then the TV busting.
Well, cartoon Annabelle throwing her glasses.
Well, and the thing is, I do throw tantrums and I get mad. So the fact that I hadn't actually thrown them as hard as I could was even more ridiculous because I could have very well been furious. Like those people jumping through TVs you see on, after their teams lose, especially the Cowboys. Their fans love to destroy TVs,
Those are funny.
This was not even like that. It was just so irritated.
It's okay. I throw tantrums too.
Funny.
I threw one yesterday and I was so mad at Mr. Poindexter. I was in the car and I was hitting the the middle console. I was like, God damn it! Ah! I just want to strangle you.
Yep.
I needed you during the Alabama game, Annabelle, because it was a little bit chaotic here, and you know how I am.
I know.
The most I get at football is I'm like, ooh,
Right, you're so
I
cute.
make little
This doesn't
sounds,
even
and
get
I'm
mad.
like,
She's like,
And then she goes away like this to
I'm
get a
like,
snack or
"Dang it."
something to like. Yeah, I texted you about. I don't remember. It was in the end of the third quarter, probably.
It was closer to the end, and I was just like inside. I'm so tense, and my boyfriend's like yelling at the TV.
I knew he was.
And
He's me.
like,
I knew he was
he's
losing
like,
his mind.
he's like, I don't know. I feel bad. I'm yelling because he knows like I take it in, and it makes me very tense. And I was like, I'm not gonna yell. I can't do it. I'll make my little like sounds and
right.
react.
That's what I knew. I knew how he was feeling, but I was encouraging. I'm like, hey, sometimes these games happen where your team just is used to being dominant and they're not, and so then you're like, what's going on? But I'm like, almost always. I mean, with teams that are elite like that, almost always it works out okay. So I felt like it was going to be okay, and then it was clearly okay because in the last couple minutes they.
Yeah. And it was fine, but even like last week I mentioned, I was like, okay, I don't really know as much about the team that they played the first week. So I was like, I don't know if we played really good or if they didn't play really good. So it was kind of hard to tell. And then I was like stressed.
It's hard because a lot of teams aren't playing great teams the first game. Like Georgia's one of the few teams that had a tough game the first, a good opponent the first game. It wasn't a tough game.
Yeah.
But,
I was like, dang, we better bring it because Georgia's looking good.
So far, we'll do college football right quick, then we can move on.
Yeah.
But I definitely think so. The rankings came out. Texas is number 2 now. I definitely think Texas is looking like a top team. Like watching them.
Ooh.
I felt like watching
It's
Georgia.
been a while.
It has, and I think that Georgia's defense is looking dominant the way it did a couple years ago, dare I say. I mean, I'm not trying to jump ahead, but Texas looks like probably that's going to be the hardest opponent. Alabama's hard for Georgia in other ways, I think in like mental ways. But maybe now that Daddy Nick's gone, Georgia will have an easier time with Alabama. But
man, I said I don't know what's worse, like being Nick Saban and having to watch the team kind of struggle a little bit at the beginning because you could tell he was like ready to like shred some stuff up, or being the coach that got there and has to like uphold this kind of legacy that's been happening.
It's got to be really tough for what's-his-face to bear. That's got to be, I mean, jumping in, trying to fill Nick Saban's shoes. And I think historically, I've heard people say, I don't know if this is true, but I've heard it a lot, that often the coach that goes into a team right after a legacy like that struggles and isn't the long-term coach. It's sort of like a rebound boyfriend. So it'll be interesting to see if that's true. Because I do think DeBear's a good coach, but I mean, that's huge shoes to fill. I mean, there's never been bigger shoes to have to fill, I don't think, than maybe what's his face from New England, Belichick.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. He's still got an office there at the thing, right? So, and I mean, he was at the game. I feel like obviously it's not his team anymore, but I think it helps to still have him.
I think he's still like an advisor and sort of like maybe he's like grandpa now to the kids than dad, sort of like there is a sort of, I don't know.
He's always going to be daddy.
Yes.
He'll always be daddy to you.
Well, he's still around though, right? So what is he doing now?
Yeah. He's doing like commentating and
he's college football. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah, you didn't see that Pat McAfee clip, which was just hysterical.
Watching Nick Saban try to put up with Pat McAfee's nonsense was hilarious. Because Pat McAfee, I got no tolerance for that fool. I do not like that guy. He is obnoxious. If I were to get drunk at a frat party, I would probably be into him. But otherwise, no. So I feel like I'm Nick Saban in this case, where I'm sitting there next to him just like, is this going to end?
I probably would be like the...
I think Nick Saban's probably like me. Don't make a face. Don't make a face. Don't make a face.
But your face just can't help it because you don't hide those expressions.
Kind of like,
yeah. That's so funny.
Oh, so Annabelle, talking about like being frustrated and throwing your glasses and stuff. So I have to tell you, and we haven't talked at all, but I started taking real kickboxing classes with my middle child.
You did?
And yes, because he wanted to take them at the gym that he wrestles at. And so we've done a couple. And let me tell you, I always end up he's like my partner. And I'm like, you cannot hit your mom. Like, like we have like gloves and everything, right? So, and you can't hit in the face, but I'm like, you cannot. And so, but he still he's taller than me, like by.
He's probably like, what's the point if I can't hit you?
Yeah, he's 5'10" and I'm like 5'4", right? And and then he's bouncing around and he's like, why aren't you moving around more? And I'm like, because I'm almost 50. I can't move that fast.
Gotta be nimble.
Yes.
Do you need me to come be your partner?
Oh my, I know you do. But it's like, my shins are beat. I have bruises like up and down, like all my shins, because when we're kicking and he's like blocking me, it's like, it hurts. I mean, and there was a couple times, I was hitting like without gloves on, like the bag.
Really?
And I was just like, oh my God. I just feel so old. So anyways, but it's been good because like I can take out some of my frustrations.
See, I really wanted to start doing that, but because I have rheumatoid arthritis, my rheumatologist was like, absolutely, you cannot do that.
But I will tell you, it's a really good exercise. Like like once a week I'll do it, right? Like, with him. But I mean, it kicks my butt, like where I'm like, oh my God, I'm like, and then it, because I'm using other muscles too, where I don't when I just walk, and I'm like, damn, this is good.
Yeah.
But don't hit your mom just because we're here. I'm like, you are not allowed, because even if I'm up, like have the gloves up, like blocking him, he'll like, he'll hit me pretty hard, and I'm like, I'm kind of going back, and he's like what? And I'm like, this is not okay. I know you're like, you don't like me.
He's gonna knock you out. You're tiny. Like, you're totally going to get knocked out.
Annabelle, if you had to do it with your oldest son, who's like, what, 6? What is he?
6'1".
He's 6'1".
185.
And he's all buff from
right. He is. He's like
sports.
He could
no,
knock
I wouldn't
you out.
do it. Absolutely not. He would 100%. I mean, I've got, like I always say, I've got the early olds. Like, I'm like 98 years old. My arthritis and stuff. Got the joint inflammation and the bad back.
Yeah.
The lady with the early olds can't be kickboxing her teenage son. Absolutely not. Like, I think it would be great for me to get out my energy, but I've tried boxing before and just hitting the bag, like, because the hands is like one of the worst for RA. Were like swollen and inflamed in my joint. It was awful. So, yeah.
And what about yoga then? Okay. I also was taking a yoga class, but not. I
mean, yoga's great, but not. It's bad for me with my back problems. I end up aggravating my stuff. Anyway,
I will say that it's not like I wasn't taking yoga. I was taking Zen yoga, which is meditation. So I've been really trying to focus on.
Oh, that's good.
Meditating.
I love it.
No, it is. I mean, so Tris, you would love it because it's one of my girlfriends teaches Zen yoga. So it's not like you don't really go into like maybe 3 poses and that's it. And you're mainly laying down and like. And she's walking you through like how to let things go.
That's good.
And
really good.
And I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, and like clear your mind and I'm like, and just focus on yourself and like I'm like, this is like the most amazing thing ever.
You need that now.
Well, speaking of that, I am supposed to do my first sound bath tomorrow.
Wait, what?
A sound bath.
What is that?
Is that sensory deprivation or what?
It's kind of like it. You basically go. I'm going to be with a group, and basically you could either lay on a mat or they have these 0 gravity chairs. I don't exactly know what that entails, but I can assume based on the name of it. But anyways, like the instructor has singing bowls and does all the
she was doing bowls. That in the Zen yoga, like where it's a big bowl,
and you take the little. There's several different sizes. They all are different like frequencies and are supposed to like clear different chakras and help you meditate and focus. They're bowls, and you like
it's a big bowl, and then you take a like almost like a spoon
or something.
Water
in
it? No, it's just the sound.
It's
will
how they're made. Yeah. They're beautiful sounds. Like
if people would take the glasses and they would like put their hands around the glasses and it the sound waves kind of depending on like how much water you have in there. But now it's like a big bowl, and then they just kind of move around.
So the bath has nothing to do with water.
Singing bowls. Well, no, it doesn't.
But okay, we need to check back in next week, and I want to hear more about this sound bath. So
I'll see if I can.
Wait, so what's the point of it? Is it meditation or what?
Right here.
That yes.
Right here.
No, that would annoy me.
I love it.
I mean, I will say that is a little bit it is a little bit annoying, like in yoga, where I'm like,
it's very.
I need to put some earplugs in.
Yeah, I know.
Dim lights and the perfect atmosphere, and it's just kind of like how Miss Poindexter's doing, like just being present when you can like focus on certain things of your body and your breathing. I think people just, if you've never done it, you would be amazed at how incredible it works. So,
just it takes me a little bit to really learn how to let things go, though.
Yeah.
Peace.
I've tried meditation and mindfulness stuff like a lot over the years, and I'm very unsuccessful with it. And I've tried it in multiple different ways with yoga, with different practitioners, and I am so riddled with anxiety and just that it is impossible for me. And I would love if I could actually do it, but I just get annoyed because even I can't even get like a manicure because while I'm sitting there, I'm thinking about all the other stuff I need to be doing, and my mind's racing, and I can't just relax and enjoy it.
Because you have to work on being present and being grateful. You can't be grateful and anxious at the same time because they come from the same place of your brain. So you have to.
Well,
You can't do both.
well, what do you be? I mean, what grateful for what when you're getting a manicure?
Grateful for everything.
That I can
Grateful
afford
for
a
being
manicure?
able that you can afford it. Grateful that you have transportation. Grateful that the day is beautiful. I don't know.
Grateful
whatever
that
you
you're
wanna be
alive,
grateful for.
because the other option would
Exactly.
be not. I think it's hard to be grateful when you have COVID and you're super tired.
Well,
and
yeah, I mean,
exhausted, right?
Yeah.
right. I know right now I couldn't do it, but I can't do it generally. I've actually tried, and my trainer, my physical therapist, they're always like, "You should do this." I'm like, "You guys, I tried. It really doesn't work."
I mean, you could be grateful that the worst part of your COVID is that you're tired.
No, I am
maybe,
definitely
or,
grateful
you
for
know.
things. I mean, I can't relax and get into like mindfulness and
Yeah.
meditation stuff. Like I actually have genuinely tried because I think it would be good for me, but I
Yeah.
just cannot seem to figure it out. I just get annoyed.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, I'm
Yeah.
just laying here.
Yeah.
I gotta go do something.
Well, and then also the taste in your mouth, right? I mean, that's got to be just like irritating as
Yeah.
Oh well, right now, yeah, it's disgusting.
Yeah. All right,
Eat
so
a bunch
I
of
want to.
trash.
Oh, talking about taste and mouth, Tris, let's put something in your mouth.
That's
I don't
that's
know.
gonna be this kind of. I've made this before. This one, it kind of looks like a Halloween treat or something. It looks like these are.
Are
Yeah,
those
they look.
olives like in
Can't even see
cranberry
No,
that.
juice?
they're grapes. They're
Oh,
grapes
okay.
with a little bit of lime juice and some sugar-free Jello powder on them, and then you put them in the fridge. It's like they kind of taste like candy, but they're delicious. And because I do the sugar-free, of course, it's still it's a pretty healthy snack.
What does the Jello powder do?
It just makes them kind of sweet. It makes it kind of taste a little bit more like candy, but it's basically so all the videos that you'll find of this is kind of like they freeze them. I don't care for these frozen, so I just like put it in the fridge and eat it that way. I will also tell you, so my youngest and I, we tested this out, and we also did it with watermelon. I have never liked watermelon in my life. I think it tastes like crunchy water, which is just weird that people like that. Watermelon flavored candy, that's a different story. But anyways, so we tried this with the watermelon, and it was absolutely delicious. So
You should put tahini on watermelon too.
Ooh,
I would
yeah.
try that. I would try that. Did I send you the one? It's like popcorn with tahini on it. I don't know. I
We
would.
did
I do want
we
to
did
try
the
that.
popcorn with hot sauce, which is really
We
good.
did.
Which
Yeah,
I
I would
actually now makes
definitely.
me. I always forget about doing that, but
Hold the
okay.
grape up to the camera. Is it like crunchy now? Does it dry on there like citric acid on
A little bit.
candy gummies?
Yeah, a
or?
little bit.
Oh, it's interesting. It's a good point.
A little bit. When they're frozen, they're better. When they're cold, they're better. They do not look
So
like that.
okay,
I can't really.
so you
I
you
like
just pour like like a cherry or a certain flavor.
just put them in a bowl. Yeah, squeeze a lemon, like a fresh a lemon on there. I didn't have a lemon, so I just used some little lemon juice concentrate that I had. But and then you just pour the powder on there and shake it up, and either put it in the freezer. Don't do that with the watermelon because the watermelon sitting in the fridge or freezer is kind of gross. But if you're gonna eat it fresh, that it's good with the watermelon. But
So you
these are
put it in a
great.
bowl, or I would just put it in a Ziploc bag and shake it up.
Yeah, this time I put it in a Ziploc bag because I didn't do like a huge batch of it. I think my favorite is actually the blue raspberry, but I didn't want my tongue to be blue today. That's like something that's at least close. I had one already. See,
My
that can
tongue's
make
been
my tongue
red
red.
constantly. I've been brushing my teeth like 10 times a day, and it's red constantly because I'm eating these throat lozenges. You
But
should get some citric acid. Just buy citric acid on Amazon and toss it in that because it'll give you like that tart candy flavor.
Yeah.
Without like the fake sugar in the Jello. Let's see.
Yeah.
I can't have anything with fake sugar.
People are like melting the Jolly Ranchers I think it's Jolly Ranchers, and then like dipping these in it, and it's like a hard candy.
That's
I don't know why people do that. It's not really healthy, but
That's
whatever.
interesting.
It does look good. It looks delicious. But this kind of reminds me, like,
take a
when I was
fruit and
younger.
make it unhealthy.
I used to when like I would make the when you would make like what is that fruit punch, like Kool-Aid? When you make
yeah.
I couldn't think. You make Kool-Aid and you put the sugar in there, and then you put like a little packet of the water and you mix it around. It's
Wait,
like it's delicious.
The water?
You put a packet of Kool-Aid, then you fill that same packet with a little bit of water, and then put all the sugar in there and mix it, and it's just like a sugary candy mix that I would eat.
That's some hillbilly bullshit right there.
It's so good. It's so good.
She's just trying to get the most out of her packet of Kool-Aid.
Exactly.
Right? Like, how can we make this unhealthy treat even unhealthier?
Like, man, I gotta add water because I'm gonna eat all the stuff that makes it the Kool-Aid.
Oh my God, I have never thought about that. The things that I learn about treats from you, it's just amazing.
It's hilarious.
It is.
I'm surprised that I have more issues
I'm
from so much
surprised you're
sugar.
not diabetic.
Mm-hmm.
True. Like everybody in my family is kind of overweight, so I have no idea what happened. I'm not. Like,
you got all the genetics for the whole family tree.
I guess so.
I know where your weight goes. So I'll say it here.
Yep.
My booty.
So I have to tell you, I was in a conference last week in Dallas, and on the way back to the airport coming home, we passed a Waffle House, and I told Mr. Poindexter, I was like, gosh darn it. I'm trying not to cuss. Gosh darn it. I'm like, next time we're in Dallas, I'm like, we have got to go to the Waffle House.
Why didn't you go right then, immediately?
Because we had to go catch a flight.
Oh.
So y'all
Mr. Poindexter would love Waffle House. He loves eating 7 breakfasts at once.
Wait, have you guys not been to Waffle
We've
House
never
before?
been to one. And I was just like, I need to go. So next year, I guess, is the next time.
They even have them in Arizona.
I tell you, it's not.
Like, we've gone to Arizona before sometimes just to go to Waffle House.
Oh, I did not know that. Okay. Well, I will put that on my list.
But
I will.
In the beginning of COVID, we went with one of my friends and our brats on like a vacation because there was nowhere to go, but Arizona was open. So we went to Arizona and we went to Waffle House and Bella Mushroom. And that, like, just there every day. We went to both places. That was our.
I remember that trip. I remember you telling me about this trip. I remember.
And the resort had like 5 pools, and there was no one there, so we just like enjoyed it.
Is this the Fairmont at in Scottsdale?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I like that place. It's really nice.
We went to the spa was open, so if you tested, you could go to the spa. So we went to the spa every day. It's like, it was amazing. Yeah, and it wasn't expensive because no one had any business, so they were just trying to get people.
Is that the one, if I'm thinking correctly, because we stayed there before with the kids, has the water slides too?
Yeah, one of the pools has water slides.
Yeah, it's perfect. Okay, so before we get into NFL stuff, we do need to talk about this to our fans. We're not doing a fantasy football because it's limited on how many people can actually join. Play. So we are doing an ESPN Pigskin Pick Em. So I've never played this. I signed up last night. Super easy, Annabelle. All you have to do is you go into week 2 and you just pick the teams that you think are going to win. And that's it. Super easy.
And how many fans can play? Unlimited?
It's unlimited. And you can join whenever. Ooh. And you can join. So because we kicked it off, still week 1. Yeah, but we can join and do week 2. You can start going in through and picking like your multiple weeks, or I'm going to go week by week, right?
I'm going to go week by week too, because you got to figure out what's going on with each team. Like the Rams, for example, the whole O-line's out already. So, it's going to change.
Okay, well, yeah.
So tell us how much it costs to join Mrs. Poindexter.
It's free. You just have to sign up for an account and it's free. So
we never make you pay for games.
No. And we'll figure out how to do like a prize thing. Maybe whoever picks the best or whoever wins the most consecutive.
We should do
a
weekly prize, like a small weekly prize, and then some grand prizes at the end. We always do prizes for anything we do, and you never have to pay to join anything. It's not a gimmick. It's just for fun. So you guys understand.
Yeah, so we'll figure out the price thing and we'll announce it next week what the prices are. But yeah, we will put the link in here and then we gotta start posting that link. So but it's under Irrational Moms.
That's going to be our team name, right, on ESPN?
That's our group name.
That's the group name because I'm gonna make. I didn't get 2 last night, but I will go on and make one and pick teams.
I didn't
Yeah,
either.
and then you just go in there and then you can create like your individual name, right? So mine says Mrs. Poindexter under Irrational Moms, and then you can just So it's easy, super easy.
I will even do this probably. Somebody might have to remind me to go put my picks in because I even get stressed picking stuff because I hate being wrong, which is why I don't gamble or ever talk smack about games because I'm always just kind of like, oh well. Like yesterday we have some close friends who are huge Lions fans, and so when the Rams went up towards the end of the game, my son's like, I'm going to call this kid. And he's all ready. I said, don't do it, buddy. Don't do it. There's still time. Don't do it. So then after the game and the Rams lost overtime, I'm like, see, aren't you glad you didn't call him? You would have looked like an a-hole. And he's like, yep, that's right. See, this is why I don't do it because you talk shit and then your team loses 5 minutes later. You look ridiculous. And I hate that feeling. I don't like egg in my face. I'll be like, let's go team. And that's all. I'm not saying nothing.
Well, I saw that because in the group chat last night between us, I was like, hey, we should like maybe pick who's going to win this, Sunday Night Football. And you didn't say nothing. And I'm like, nope. We're just like, I'm going to go Lions. Just like, I'm going to go Lions. And I'm like,
well, I said I didn't think the Rams had much of a chance because they were already missing some of their starting O-line. But then almost immediately, Puka Nakua's hurt and the O-line's hurt. And I'm like, well, there's no hope. I actually was thinking, like, just take Matthew out of the game so he doesn't get killed back there. But then the combination of random dudes thrown together to play O-line, some rookies included, actually did all right. I mean, they didn't win, but they did way better than I expected given the circumstances. Even just in general, because the Lions are a really good football team, And we managed to hold, like, Amon-Ra to not a lot of yards, but their running game,
which was actually really surprising because I'm like, he's not
so
get
good.
Anything, and he is. And I'm like, last night I'm like, what? I'm like, either
it's just that we did that, but then Jahmyr Gibbs is just so powerful of a runner that he just ran all over us. I mean, it's going to be a challenge for anybody to stop him, though. He's an elite player, so
Well, that was a good game. So we can go on and start talking about football.
Yeah.
Then. Okay, so we ended our live we ended during the first quarter because I had things to do. You guys weren't feeling good. And then the Chiefs won.
So the Chiefs.
Wah, wah. I saw a thing that said the Chiefs are the most hated team in America now over the Cowboys.
Right. Well, remember, for a long time, people felt this way about the Patriots when they were in their dynasty.
They did. So they're the new Patriots.
Right.
Yeah.
Even if we didn't have the whole Taylor Swift nonsense, we would still be like over the Chiefs.
Tired of their faces.
But I always look at the first 5 to 6 weeks of every start of the season. You just never really know how things are going to shake out.
No, because the Chiefs looked terrible at the beginning of the year last year. And
they did. They lost. I think their first 3 or 4 out of the 6 games. I mean, they were just that's where most all their losses came from. And it was just oh my God, they are pulling a Ram. Sorry.
Mm-hmm. Well, they still were plagued with, oh my God, Juju. Did you see Juju they still have the receiver drop problem. This fool is out there doing a TikTok on the field beforehand and then doesn't even play well. I'm sorry, but you should have your TikTok social media privileges revoked unless you're doing well. You don't get to make dumbass TikToks unless you're doing well in the game. Because nobody wants to see those TikToks in the first place. They're stupid. Okay? They're stupid.
Okay, do need to talk about this. Okay, well, there's so much to talk about. Okay, so Friday night. I mean, Thursday night was good. I ended up being at this rooftop bar in downtown Dallas, and they had the game on because I was really upset we had to go to this event. But it was I had to go, right? And that's
why they had TVs, right?
Oh, they did. Thank freaking God, because I was gonna tell the guy who put the event on, like, how do you do an event on the kickoff of the NFL season?
Right.
I'm like,
I
and
knew they
it's
would
the
have
Chiefs.
TVs.
So thank goodness they had the TVs on, and because it's also Dallas, right? It's like they're a huge football state, so thank goodness. If it was California, there probably wouldn't be no TVs on.
Yes, there would.
What?
I said, yes, there would be.
But I will say this event, I went and ordered because they had their signature drinks there. Horrible.
What were they?
Just horrible. I had some, I don't know, fancy thing with lavender and something in it, and I was like, this is not good. Just give me a dirty martini. And that ended up being
to be fair, if people don't use lavender correctly, it tastes like soap. Mm-hmm. Like, you gotta just use a hint of lavender.
Well, and then it coming out of a spigot. And I was like
it was a cocktail?
A drink out of a,
I was like,
pre-made drinks.
I don't like, I was like, this is not going to be good.
Certain types of drinks work that way. Certain types don't.
No, this is
not good. They work that way, but even like a pre-made margarita is not going to be anywhere near as good as somebody actually making it fresh.
Yeah, Annabelle makes the best margaritas.
I would never pre-make them. I mean, I would make a pitcher and then another pitcher, but I wouldn't make a vat of them or something.
Yeah. No, I mean, the pitcher is fine because then you can just kind of stir it and, top it off with some more tequila. But yeah, so anyways, I just went to, I'm just going to dirty martinis now. The dirtier, the better when it comes to a martini.
What does it mean when it's dirty? Is that it has
juice.
Olive juice? Okay, olive juice.
Not just olives, but the juice.
Well, that got me started on that was that pickle martini.
I knew it.
I would try a pickle martini, but
it's the same flavor basically to me.
No, it's not. Pickle juice is better than olive juice.
Every time I would pass by, they had a little olive bar. I think it was at Deerberg's in Missouri. Like just walking past this little olive bar is just make you.
Olives and pickles are the two things I don't like. Which is weird because I love salt and.
Well, what about fried every restaurant we went to.
Like a pickle?
Oh God, it's so good. Ooh. A good fried pickle.
No.
Oh my God.
I don't want the pickle. You can dress it up however you want. I don't want it.
Tress, we're gonna go have fried pickles and pickle martinis.
Yes. I will make an exception and drink a little just to try.
I think you would really like it. You might like it.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go to Friday night's game because I was texting Annabelle to see how she was feeling. And I'm like, aren't you watching this game? She's like, gosh darn it, where's it at? And then she was irritated. We could talk about that. It was on Peacock. So the Eagles,
I used your Peacock, Tress.
Yeah, that's okay.
Secret. The Eagles and the Packers. That was a good game.
It was a good game. I didn't think the Eagles were going to pull it off, honestly.
Me neither.
They were definitely missing Jason Kelce. The whole brotherly shove situation was.
I saw him trying to do the tush push without Kelce, and it was like some funny video. It doesn't work.
It doesn't work, and so one of the way that it sort of like exploded in terms of people talking about it was because they would say that like in the beginning when the podcast first started, when the New Heights podcast started, they would talk about Jason and Jalen Hurts would say, 4th and 1, what are you running? And they would say 92% because they said that the tush push was effective 92% of the time. Mm-hmm. And so Jalen Hurts would be like 92% of the time, every time. And he's like so cool that it just, looks really sexy. When he says anything, honestly. So,
well, just looking at him is like,
right. I mean, doesn't matter what he says, honestly. And so even if he just looks at you, it's like, oh yeah. So anyway, so the New Heights fans base then got the name the 92 percenters. From that original, it was one of the original sort of, not a joke, but like the inside kind of things from the show. So now I'm like, hey, I wonder, is it still going to be 92% without Jason? And so far, I think it's 0%.
Right? Yeah. The 0%ers. Yeah.
The 0%ers. I mean, what's funny is Jason used to always talk about how he is a bad snapper as a center. And he'd always known that, because he's snapping, trying to rush. But one of the things that made him such a good center was his ability to block, right? Mm-hmm. And so he's trying to get the ball out as quick as he can so he gets his hands back. And so Jalen Hurts was struggling to get the snaps from this other guy. And I was wondering, is this guy actually bad at snapping, or is he just snapping like correctly? Whereas Jason, he was just so used to the way Jason snapped that, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know if that makes sense.
Well,
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you would assume that they practice like over and over again, but who knows, right? I mean,
yeah, but games are always different because, almost nobody plays their starters in preseason. And
yes. Mm-hmm.
I saw a meme, I think, that said that cheese meant something different in Philly, and it was like your Packer cheesehead guy, and he had normal cheesehead, and then the Philadelphia guy had the same cheesehead, but it was like wrapped in foil, and it was like Philadelphia cream cheese. I was like, oh, okay,
that's
like
good.
That.
That's a good one.
I was thinking like cheesesteak. Cream cheese is hilarious.
Too. Yeah.
Imagine if you took a cheesesteak on your head.
Yeah.
Well, okay, but the game was good. The fact it was on Peacock really was disappointing. I mean, I think for a lot of people, and the fact that the commentators really did a bad job, or just horrible.
Guys. So between that game, I had that on once I remembered the game was on, and the MLB, the Padres were on the Apple TV's Friday Night Baseball. If you are going to force fans to pay for extra services just to watch normal regular season games, the broadcasters should not be horrible. The MLB broadcast was absolute trash. Now, as Padres fans, we are spoiled to listening to a great broadcast team with Don Orsillo. He's known to be one of the best broadcasters in the game. But, like, come on. And then the Peacock team, now, producer Matt said that was their number 2 broadcast group or something. On the opening night of football, why are you not bringing your best?
In Brazil,
too, why are you not bringing your best team? That broadcast was the worst broadcast I've ever heard for an NFL game. It was not interesting. They were not exciting. I could have gone to sleep, not just because I was on meds, but it was really boring.
It's very monotone-ish.
They're not excited about either team. Yeah. They weren't giving us, like, the color commentary wasn't good. Like, I'm sorry, in dead spaces, you got to give us something. Don't just sit there. Like, you could just watch some random person stream of the game to get that. It was awful. And so
I did like hearing the Brazilian commentary or whatever you want. Commentary in the background, right? Whoever it was, like, you could hear him like from the stadium.
Like, in the stadium.
Yeah, and he'd be like in his Spanish voice. He's like, and I'm like,
Spanish?
this is actually real. What is it?
I was just thinking
Portuguese.
They should have the announcers.
So that was actually really interesting.
Soccer. Yeah.
Yeah.
Soccer announcers are fantastic.
They are so good.
Yeah. Yeah, I would have. I'm guessing the Brazilian broadcast of it, if I understood Portuguese, was probably amazing. American broadcast, absolute trash. Guys, do better. I refuse. It makes me really angry to have to pay for extra services in the first place. Like, I probably spend to have all the NFL games, and now, so I had DirecTV along with Apple TV, YouTube TV. With DirecTV, now Disney has like a fight with them. So none of the Disney channels, which is all the ESPN channels, are on DirecTV. So I couldn't even watch like a lot of the college football stuff. I had to go to streams through YouTube. So DirecTV is offering a $20 a month rebate while this lockout is happening. But you have to go through like 40 steps to get it. I'm sorry, but you're not offering one of the main things anybody wants during this time of year. And you aren't just automatically giving a refund. You make people go through a bunch of different steps when they're already paying for a service you're not offering. That is also BS. Like, I'm so sick of the way all of the television industry is right now. It's absolute garbage. Like, take us back to freaking cable when you could just pay extra for the channels and everything was in one place. This now having 13 different apps is absolute.
We should probably talk about this next week because there's this whole lawsuit that's going on about this too. But no, that's a good topic for next week that we could talk about. Okay, can we talk about the ending of the game though, when Love got injured and they brought in their second string quarterback, and he should have thrown I think he was trying to throw a Hail Mary, and all of a sudden he I sent you guys, right?
I don't remember.
The Instagram it was a whole carousel of like him falling down, right?
Oh yeah. There's Malik Willis. That's who it is, right? Malik Willis.
Yeah. So,
Yeah. Poor guy.
And that actually
sucks
came
to
from
go in that scenario.
That came from my sports entertainment attorney.
God.
That was terrible.
It was funny.
What is the update on Jordan Love? He's out like, is it 3 to 6 weeks?
3 to 6 weeks.
What a bummer.
So,
First game.
I know. I was just, I felt so bad for him.
And at the very end of the game too.
I know, because I'm like, they could have maybe pulled it off. But all right, can we talk about, now we're going to switch over to,
Cheetah. Let's talk about Cheetah getting arrested.
Let's talk about
That's what I was going to say. And, he has a rap sheet from being,
He does.
he kind of has been like,
he's problematic.
He's been involved.
He's
domestic violence, a lot of baby mamas. So when he's like, I don't know what happened.
It's hard here because he's given a lot of evidence that he's not a great person. Great football player. No offense, Cheetah, but you beat women and children. That's not cool. However,
and we're not saying that. That's on Wikipedia.
Exactly. This is not my But like, getting pulled over for a traffic violation and you're in handcuffs. Why are we throwing people on the ground and hitting them and kicking them? Because you're already in handcuffs and you're on video and you're just standing there. That's a problem. Now, I understand all these people are like, yeah, but he's a whatever. True. However, there's still laws. And so the punishment for speeding isn't to get beat down by the police. And if you're in handcuffs and you're knocking somebody on the ground who's not doing anything, that's a problem.
Yeah.
It's a problem.
I saw that the officer, I think, that was involved, or one of them, is like on leave. Yeah. And even Cheetah's lawyer was really good about saying, listen, this happened. He is going to play. I don't know all the details, and I don't want to make any accusations before we actually like understand how the heck we got here. But yeah, I'm not condoning anything that he did by any means, but it would be nice to figure out like who had a body cam on and
we saw just from happened. It would be good. And just from cell phone video, you see him standing there, and I understand he was talking some smack, but when he's already restrained, you kick him to the ground. That is a problem. And the fact that it's on camera is, I mean, hopefully, whatever. I don't even know what to say about this because I don't want to make it like super political or anything. But
there was,
you got a black man in handcuffs and he's just standing there and you kick him on the ground. That's a problem.
It is a problem, and also it's like I don't know what led up to everything. Like what happened, like why they pulled him over and why he was on handcuffs. But also at the same time, I think.
But also, none of that matters at that point, right?
No, it doesn't. No, none of it matters. You just cannot treat people that way in general.
You can say, well, he's a crappy person if you want. Or there's all these things you could say about him, or maybe he could deserve.
And he could talk all the smack he wants to a police officer. That does not give them the right to actually treat him that way. I mean, there's got to be. I'm sorry.
Granted, if I get pulled over, even though I'm a hothead and a total a-hole, I'm going to keep my mouth shut because I don't want to escalate things. However, even if I do talk some smack, the cop can't pull me out by my hair and throw me on the ground. They're not supposed to do that, no matter what I say, even if I deserved it by like some standards, right? But I also I like to follow the adage, remember the old Chris Rock video he made about how to get your butt kicked by the police? I also like to follow those rules.
Well, I also look at this, I think, I mean, this sounds so bad, but I look at this, I think, he's next to the stadium. He gets pulled over.
They know who he is.
And they know who he is. I'm like, and you cops, all that, you guys work like probably like off-duty shifts at that stadium to make your overtime, and then you guys just want it. Who knows? I mean, maybe he was speeding, maybe he deserves it. I don't know.
But you know people have cameras too in the world.
Exactly.
Out in the world.
Exactly. So
there were so many angles of what everybody was recording.
Right.
Oh my God.
You got like a dude, and he was speeding somewhere else, I think, right? So they called it in. They're not chasing him. They're like, yeah, pull this guy over, whatever.
He was probably late to like getting there for check-in or whatever for pregame.
Yeah.
But like you got a dude who's clearly a pro athlete in a McLaren next to the stadium. I think it's a McLaren. Like, what you're doing. You know about the cameras. So how are you still acting so badly as a cop? Like, I mean, not that they should ever act bad, but how is there like no awareness of like.
But that's what I'm saying. If we don't know what happened, like I'm not justifying it. I just would like to know what exactly
there's no justification
down.
for
sure, but it
on the
doesn't
ground
matter.
if
The
they
thing
have
is,
like
it doesn't matter, right? It doesn't matter what
But
happened.
that's what I'm saying. We don't know it. What does matter what happened, because if he did something that wasn't on people's camera.
But here's the thing: if he was maybe violently resisting, yes, but that is on camera.
Yeah.
That part's on camera. So nothing that he could have said or did justifies that, unless say he was violently resisting, which he wasn't, because it's on camera. So that's the problem.
Or if you're chasing somebody and you tackle him on the ground and he's on the ground and he's in handcuffs, that's one thing. Or you're
but they had him on the ground twice. They had him face down on the ground when they got him out of the car, and then later, and he wasn't, and you could see him just laying there still, and then they roll him over and he sits up. And then later on, he's over there on the side, and they just kick him down. And there's witness accounts from all his players who stopped that said he wasn't doing anything. He was being normal and respectful. And so, I mean,
well, the fact that the cop was put on leave makes me think that it likely something. They're not just going to go put the guy on leave. They would have backed up their guy and be like, no.
Have an investigation.
I think now it's kind of standard to put somebody on leave during those, just because they're not saying the cop's wrong or not, but we don't know yet, so we're just going to put him on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I do have to say, okay, so we'll have to wait for more information on that. But yeah, I agree with everything you said, Annabelle. Our producer needs to put up the little gift that was, who sent that?
Yes,
his touchdown celly.
Yeah, his touchdown.
That was like a great celly.
Yeah, I know. That was like hilarious.
That was a great celly. Did they actually show that on the broadcast or not? Because I only saw it after the fact.
I wasn't watching that game, so I don't know.
I didn't get to see all of it. I was watching some on my phone. So.
Oh yeah, I had the Red Zone channel on for the morning games, so I didn't watch.
That's what one of my kids did, and I was really upset because I'm like, I like watching I don't like watching the Red Zone. Sorry.
Well, normally I would put multiple games on different TVs, the main ones I want to watch, and then have a split screen of the other games plus Red Zone channel. But because I wanted to stay in my bed and just see the important points, and I didn't care a ton about any of the games, it was better. The Red Zone was good for that, because then I just see all the exciting stuff.
Do you know that now YouTube fixed this? I don't know, or made a new adjustment to not adjustment. I can't even think and talk today. YouTube added software, or did a release of their software on their platform. So now YouTube TV, you can pick what games you want to watch. So you know how before, Annabelle, we would have to be stuck with either 3 or 4 games. Is she frozen? She's frozen.
She's frozen.
You're frozen.
But she looks very concerned, though.
Yes, I'm concerned. What are you trying to say? Can't understand you. And I'm like, I can't understand myself either this morning.
So can I just say, while she's frozen?
Oh, her power went out.
That
came back, but it might have to restart. Okay, so let's just wrap this up because I think we're at a little bit. But now you can pick your game. So instead of having it was stuck 3 or 4 games, you can pick which games you want to watch.
I can't focus. So when my boyfriend puts that on the TV and it'd be 4 games, and the one that I'm trying to watch, and then he'll have the sound on a different game, and I'm like, I'm so confused. I have to be able to hear it and see it to follow everything.
Yeah, right. It is. Okay, she's gonna have to reset the Wi-Fi for sure. Okay, producer, can you text her and tell her that we're just gonna wrap it up since we're at 50 minutes? Because we don't want to make people super bored. All right. So so don't forget to go to our, what's the thing called again? The ESPN.
Yeah, I need to go make mine.
Pigskin Pick Em. So we'll have a link here for that. And hey, don't forget, you can also listen to us on Spotify or Apple too. So, and don't forget to subscribe, and leave us a question here, because we have not had a fan question in a long time. And we also have a Reddit. We also have a Instagram. We also have a Twitter or X. And what else? Did we have something else? I think that's it, right?
Yeah, I think that's it. Yeah.
And I can't wait for. I'm so glad football season's back, and then we're back together. So it's gonna be a fun season.
Yeah, I missed you guys.
I know, I missed you guys too. All right, Tris, take it away.
Okay, we'll be back with more snacks. These taste like creepy crawlers. I don't know if you remember that from back in the day. Make your own little bug gummies.
Never did that. But you know what? Do you remember that rock pop? Rock Pop? Is that what it's called?
Oh yeah, Pop Rocks.
Oh, Pop Rocks. Think.
Yeah, Pop
I
Rocks.
cannot speak today or think. You stick it in your mouth and it's just like a big old party going on. I bought that for my kids a couple of years ago. They didn't like it, so I was like, oh, I'm gonna eat this.
I like it. I haven't Pop Rocks in forever. Yeah.
All right, so we'll be back next week.